Inside this RV, I'm running my air conditioner, water heater, refrigerator, TV, and a hairdryer, all at the same time, only using shore power. If my math is correct, I'm pulling about 41 amps, and this is a 30 amp RV. Today, I'm gonna show you a simple little trick to get some additional usable amperage in your 30 amp RV. It's kind of a hack you might have seen before and not realized it, but we're gonna do this so it looks a little nicer and of course is a bit safer. Unfortunately for us 30 amp RV owners, we can't even run all the factory appliances at the same time, let alone the additional devices like hair dryers and coffee makers. It's just not mathematically possible. Power management is rarely a thing in 50 amp RVs, and it's not necessarily because you have an additional 20 amps. It's because there are two hotlines or two legs of 50 amp service. It's not technically 100 amps of service, it's 50 amps of service twice. As long as leg 1 doesn't exceed 50 amps and or leg 2 doesn't exceed 50 amps, you're good. So half the electrical system runs off leg 1 and the other half off of leg 2. And the really nice thing is with 50 amp RVs, everything is wired at the factory to split everything evenly down the middle or as close to the middle as possible. In a 30 amp camper, there's only one leg, so it's a total of 30 amps no matter which way you slice it. For example, if your air conditioner is running, you're powering your water heater on electric, and you fire up the microwave, you're going to exceed 30 amps and most likely trip a breaker. If you are not popping a breaker, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not exceeding 30 amps either. The reality is not all RV campground power pedestals are properly maintained, and the breakers may be past their usable life, which could prevent them from tripping at 30 amps. And you're pulling more current than what your circuitry is rated for, which could potentially lead to a fire. Not all, but most campground pedestals will have multiple outlet options. You'll often see a 50 amp plug, a 30 amp plug, and an additional 20 or 15 amp plug. All these different outlets are wired on different circuits, so that amperage is available to use. So we're going to add an outlet inside the RV, but instead of connecting that to a panel or a bus bar, we're gonna wire that with a plug on the end so we can connect it to the pedestal. The nice thing is we're not going to modify or even touch the RV's current electrical system in any way, and it's really no different than connecting your shop vac to an extension cord. There's a couple ways to do this. You can get all the hardware needed to assemble a standard wall outlet and then wire that outlet to a 3-prong plug. You can also run a power strip, but they are a little larger than I want, and I don't need more than one outlet. So I'm going to make this very easy for everyone watching and install a desktop outlet. This one will handle the power needed by Tara's hairdryer, and it even gives us an additional USB and USB-C plug. I've decided to add the outlet on the wall of the underbed storage. Tara blow dries her hair in front of this mirror, so the plug will be convenient for her. Plus it gives us easy access to run the wiring into the pass-through storage, where I can drop the line out of the hatch to the pedestal and still be able to close my storage door. Before you do this modification, there is a little bit of math you need to do and some things to consider, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. First, I'm just going to add some masking tape to the wall here, so I can see where I need to cut, plus it helps prevent splintering. My Dremel is currently in the shop, but the cutting bit works perfectly fine on a drill if you have a steady hand. Alright, let's see if this thing fits. Perfect. Good. So now we want to pick a spot where we want the wire to go into the pass-through storage. 16 inches up will be out of the way of everything I store in here. This area is also 32 inches from the wall, so let's see where these measurements will put us in the pass-through storage. Remember, we took these measurements from my interior floor, which is about 1 inch lower than this black trim line on the outside of the trailer. My pass-through storage floor is about 7 inches lower than the interior floor, so our wire will be coming into the pass-through storage about 7 inches higher. So 23 inches up and 32 inches in will put us about in this area, also out of the way of what I store. Perfect. Now I'm going to start with a small pilot hole and only go through the first board. Once through, I'm just going to feel around between the boards and make sure there are no wires here. Everything is open, so let's go ahead and continue the pilot hole into the pass-through storage board. I refuse to charge our viewers to watch any of our videos. They're all free for everyone to watch. Our channel sponsors make this content possible, so I would like to thank today's video sponsor, RVmattress.com. They have a nice selection, mattresses for all budgets, and they have the oddball RV sizes that you won't find in a residential mattress store. You'll find the RV bunk, 3 different RV king sizes, and the short queen, among others. Their website will point you to the right mattress based on how you sleep. Shipping is free. They come with a 10-year warranty, and they have a factory right here in Arizona. If you don't like your mattress, you can return it or exchange it for a different model within 120 days. And honestly, guys, we loved our mattress so much, we got another one for our house. Use our link and discount code to get 25% off your mattress. If RV Mattress is already running a promotion, our link and discount code will get you an additional 5% off the current promotion. Those links and discount codes are down below in the video description. These are the grommets I'm using, and I'm drilling the hole with a 2-inch hole saw bit. Same thing with the hole saw, guys, just going through the first board to make sure there's nothing in here, and we are still clear. I'm just gonna poke the bit through the pass-through storage board so I can cut the hole from inside the pass-through storage, and we are in. Now, when installing the grommet, be sure not to push these. Well, the good news is the grommets come in a 4-pack. Next, I'm just going to secure the wire with nylon cable clamps. I put more clamps in the pass-through storage, and this wire is gonna kind of just live in here. When I set up, I'll just connect this to one of the extension cords I carry, run it through the hatch, and out to the pedestal. Now Tara has a dedicated outlet for the hairdryer. I can keep the AC running and still enjoy my cup of coffee. Win-win for everyone. I'm going to put the pieces I cut out of my boards up on an eBay auction. If you win the auction, I will ship these to you for free, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I will also match the highest bid and make a donation as well. I'll put links to all the details down below in the video description. Make sure whatever outlet you're going to use is rated for the appliances you're going to use with it. You also want to check the size and length of your cord going from the outlet to the power pedestal. I can't tell you exactly what to get because there are a lot of factors specific to you, but I will put links to wire size charts down below. I would only recommend this modification be used for temporary power sources, things like hair dryers, curling irons, coffee makers, and vacuum cleaners. There is a breaker at the pedestal, so it's really not any different than plugging into a wall outlet in your house. But remember, this is not connected to your RV's electrical system, and therefore it's not protected by your surge protector or your EMS unit. You can definitely leave it connected to the pedestal throughout the camping trip, but not a bad idea to turn off the breaker when you're not using it. Some campgrounds may not want you to use more than one outlet. Now, I always ask, and it's never been a problem at any of the campgrounds I've stayed at. In fact, a few campgrounds actually recommend we charge our golf cart with the additional 20 amp outlet. But it never hurts to ask campground management if they're okay with it, especially if you're on a site that's not being metered. If you want to support the work I do to help other RVers, please like, comment, share, and I hope you consider subscribing. Happy modding, everyone. We'll see you soon.